So my name is Oliver Tingling, and I am a mathematics teacher here at Doane Academy. I am really proud to be a newly minted Cami Hero as of 2021. Cami Hero! I am originally from the Bronx, New York. BX stand up, yes indeed. And I teach a variety of math courses here at Doane Academy, which include Algebra 1, Algebra 2, Statistics, and 6th grade transitional math. I'm also the founder of Sharks Online School, LLC, a small tutoring business that I started last year. So, the reason why I'm here, the reason why you're here to listen to me for all this time is that I am here to help build a positive and an engaging experience to your in-person learning as you go back to the schools this upcoming year. I look so forward to showing you all of the different tools and the different ways that Cami will change the game on how you teach your students and how you communicate with your students with using these great tools. With that being said, I ask you, are you ready to get your learn on? Are you ready to get your learn on? Okay, yep, very good, very good. All right, I'm excited too, let's get it. So, teachers, educators, they're all. When you write notes on your board, right, all these great solutions, all these great things that your students are saying, you wanna write it down on the board, you know, all these great things. See, I got notes on my board as well too. But then what happens typically at the end of the day here, friends? The notes will get erased, or you might run out of space, or there may be some other important things going on, or you have another class that you have to write notes for. But then what happens to the student who wasn't there that day? What happens to the student that, you know, wasn't quick enough to write down those notes fast enough? They lose out on those important notes, and it just creates a little bit of a lapse in the educational journey. But that's gonna be no more, because one of the great tools that I've been using this year is the digital whiteboard within Cami. And I'm gonna tell you, it has been a game changer for me, and I know it's going to be a game changer for you as well. So one of the things that I like about the digital whiteboard is that all your work gets saved digitally. So you don't have to worry about losing the paper as well whenever you're doing any of that work as well. You don't have to get your hands dirty with all of the writing, wiping down the board as well. You can use a digital whiteboard such as a blank page. You can utilize having a loose leaf paper. You can have a music notes page as well. You can even have a grid page for all the math teachers out there. Yes, indeed. You can add additional pages to your document if necessary as well. Let me show you a little bit about how that works out. So when you get into the main Cami page, okay, you want to click on New Blank Page. And when you do click on that new blank page, it gives you the opportunity to add 100, or even 1,000. You know, you can even add 567 pages if your heart's desire. Do you, boo-boo, okay? The page type, you can have it all different types here: line page, grid page, music sheet, as we explained already. And you can even change the landscape. So depending on your personal preference of how you wanna do the landscape, this is the way how you can automatically set it up. Now, to even take it further, I wanna show you a simple interest worksheet that I created for you here. And this simple interest worksheet is a culmination of a couple of different worksheets that I cut out, and I included it into my worksheet right here. And some of the things that I wanted to highlight with my students is really teaching them how to utilize the interest formula and showing them the different ways of how you solve for either interest or rate or time, because that can be a challenge. So as you can see here, I have the writing tool, and I created some of those examples, and I gave the students those examples of how to work it out. I even created an additional page to show them how to solve for that simple interest by me grabbing videos directly from YouTube. And I can do that right through Cami by clicking on the add media and going to YouTube, searching for it, and then copying the link into a URL there and pasting it into the digital whiteboard. I even have a space for you to write down notes if necessary, for the students to write down notes. And then I put some encouraging stickers down there at the bottom for some encouragement. And again, these notes you don't lose the notes, they get saved. So it's another great way that you can really enhance the in-person learning experience going back. Now, Writing papers and waiting for the copier can be a big waste of time. I know I've been there so many times where I've waited until the very last minute, waited until that very morning, or I, probably waited until my prep period, the class right before the class to start making some copies of stuff that I need, all right? And I think about the nightmares sometimes teachers face when they want to get this paper and this paper to be merged into one whole document. Maybe even grabbing something from the textbook here along with your pages and making it into one cohesive document. It can be very daunting. It can be a nightmare. So let me help relieve some of that stress, and you could be saving the environment at the same time here with Split and Merge. This is one of my favorite tools in Kami that I've utilized a lot throughout my school year here, being back in person. Split and Merge with this tool, it allows you to choose which digital copies of your lesson that you want to use, and then you can choose to include any and all of those pages that you want within your lesson. Now, when you initially scan that document here, friends, if you still had a paper copy, you can then email it to yourself and then open it up directly into Kami. After that initial scan, you'll never have to go back to the printer again for that copy, of course, and especially if you're going to reuse it again for another lesson, which likely you will. So for me, how I use Split and Merge, what I mainly use it for, like I said, I like to have a teacher copy of my quizzes and my notes and my worksheets. And I like to have my own personal answer key, and then the students can get their own student copy. I love doing that, okay? So let me show you how I go about doing that then. So when I first go into the Kami website here, I have the opportunity to get into Split and Merge two different ways. So I can either go into Split and Merge by clicking right here, or I can click on the menu drop down and click on Split and Merge document. So what will happen is that you'll get a drop down menu, go to a brand new page, and it'll give you opportunities to drag and drop your files through three different ways. You can either do it through Google Drive, you can do it through OneDrive for the Microsoft users, and heck, you can even drag it right in directly from the computer if you have it saved to the computer. Now, what you're looking at right here is a result of me throwing in three different documents, all having to do with one-step, two-step, multi-step equations. But as you can see here, I have the answer key included in all of these documents. So now if I don't want the answer key to be included, I can literally just drag out the answer keys from the original document that I have intended to be for my students. Now I can go ahead there and rename the document, whatever I want it to be. I could even rearrange not even the orientation, but just rearranging the page order by holding on Control, and then just dragging around the page order at the same time. And when I'm ready to then send it off into the world, I can actually download the files directly into my computer, save it on Google Drive or on OneDrive. Or I can open it directly into Kami and just start getting to work with it, okay? Really, really great stuff. Really, really great tool. Love it. Use it. Use it, teachers, please. Now, thinking about how can Kami help your students collaborate in different environments when learning, okay? We want students to be able to work together, but, we're still getting back to the in-person learning. There may be still some students who still might be learning from home, but you do see the value of group work. You see how great group work can really be, and you want to still take full advantage of it, okay? This is how you would be able to still connect to your students and still have them all be engaged, even if they are all in person or if some people are away, things like that. This is a great tool that will really help change the game for that as well. And that is through the collaborative sharing tool. Collaborative sharing in Kami allows users to share their documents with whoever they want. On the Kami toolbar, right between the open toolbar and then on the print button, you'll see the share feature. A link is automatically generated for you to share with anybody who you'd like to collaborate on this document that you've created. Collaborators are able to use all of the tools within Kami, like annotating, creating shapes, leaving comments, being able to drop videos from YouTube right onto their document. The sharing feature is in real time, so whenever you do make those changes, it'll automatically update on the other person's screen. Collaborative sharing, now thinking about with your students, you can also restrict certain tools from your students using when you're using the collaborative sharing feature. A copy is also saved directly onto Google Drive, so again, never worrying about losing the document or having your student pull out this nasty crumbled up paper saying, oh my gosh, yeah, this is my dog ate it or something. So let me show you really quickly how collaborative sharing works. So here is the binomials and trinomials worksheet that I want to show you, and we're using collaborative sharing. As you can see, I have myself and I have a student who I am collaborating with here on this document. Now, I can be very specific to what I want the student to use, what I want them to do on this worksheet. So I use the rectangle tool, to be able to shape out and put a box around the areas that I wanted my students to work on specifically. And then the ones that I didn't want them to work on specifically, I used the insert line and I just did a strike through on the page. So it just lets students see directly what I want them to use or what I want them to do. I can even take it further by leaving a voice or a video comment, as you see right here, telling my students exactly what I want them to do within this worksheet. So in case they didn't get the memo of the, which things I struck up and which things I put around in the box, they can also hear my voice as well. I can also leave comments for them if they're working on something and they're feeling a little confused. I can leave some comments, as you can see right here, and I can respond back to them. Another feature in Kami here is that if I don't feel like typing, I can also use the voice typing feature, and I can make cool comments like this, exclamation point. So the options are really endless in regards to the collaborative sharing feature. And again, you're not losing these documents. You have them all the time. So really, 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 really great stuff. Now, let's talk about all this work that you have now, okay? And now, you're in a position where you have all these documents. We've all been here, and you want to lug these documents back home and then give a grade to them. Ugh. Tedious, and it does not even sound like anything fun, but we've been doing it all the time. Let's improve your assignment workflow with these Kami integrations here, okay? These programs, I love them a lot. Google Classroom, Canvas, and Schoology. These programs allow you and your students to be able to have a communication, and you can then grade work directly into these programs, okay? Students can upload or download their documents right into those programs. And from there, I can then do the grade with Kami feature, and I can use the full tools of Kami and provide my feedback, whether it's a voice or a video comment, or if I need to use a drawing tool and write my feedback to that student. So let me show you a little bit of how that works out, okay? So as you see here, I have a quiz that is from a student. And I wanted to show them the grade. I wanted to grade with Kami here, okay? So now, because I am indeed grading with Kami, I have the ability to have all the features, like I said, of Kami, and then make all those annotations. And then when I'm all said and done, I can then provide the grade that I wanted to provide the student, hit the return button, and now the student has all of the annotations, all of the feedback in that real time. They didn't even have to wait for the weekend to be over, right? They just got they got what they needed. So here are some other examples of the work that I've provided feedback to in regards to turning in completed work and then grading with Kami directly in Google Classroom here. And again, you can use Canvas and you can also use Schoology as well. Kami proves, again, to be a great resource that's going to really help make the grading and communication with your students very, very seamless, and then creates a very positive and engaging learning experience, which has done for me tremendously throughout this year because of the easy grading through Google Classroom and the other integration programs. Now, many educators like yourselves want to provide our students with the best feedback possible. So they can provide you the best quality work. We all know, we all have been there, right? But what sometimes is the issue? We have 50 students and the same feedback that we're giving to student number 1 might not be the same type of quality feedback that we might be giving to student number 46 or 47, 48, something like that. And we gotta stay consistent. We gotta stay consistent, friends. So here is a good way that, and I've been talking about it a little bit, of how we can give good feedback and deliver it in real time and not having to waste too much time. So Kami has the ability for you and your students to have voice or video comments, or you could even do a full-on screen capture. You can see the entire screen on your desktop or what you're specifically working on. It really allows for the student and the teacher to have a dialogue in real time while using Kami. You can use the speech-to-text tool while you speak into the comment box, and it'll type up what you're saying, like the example I showed you in the last slide there. You can also record your screen to show your student where to find a resource in case they're stuck, or if they're lost, or to locate that turn-in button within Kami. It's a little floppy disk, by the way. Now, you can see video comments here, and you can also see the text comments with voice typing, all great ways that I've been using utilizing the feedback portion and the communications with my students. My students can even talk back to me as well. Let me show you an example of that as well. So here is an example of how I can use the voice and video comments. As you can see here, I have a pre-quiz, and I go pretty hard about my students boxing their answer, putting a box around their answer. It's very important that they have a box around their answer. Let's just finalize it up. So I can leave a text comment, as you see here. Hey, be sure to put a box around your answer, otherwise you're gonna lose points. I can also leave a voice comment right here. And as you can see, I can leave just if they want to just hear my voice, I can leave a comment there. I can leave a video comment. As you can see, I can leave multiple video comments for them. And the students can do the same thing as well for me, which I feel like really enhances that communication as opposed to waiting until the next day to talk about it. Now, something I'd like to show you all is the new and exciting tool within Kami that I'm very proud to present to you, which is called the annotation bank. This tool has really saved me a lot of time this year when I've been grading my assessments and when I use the same type of annotations while I'm grading, okay? I'm using the same "to," I'm using the same "good job," I'm using the same type of stickers. Why keep recreating that when I can just bank those comments and then just use them again? So what I mean by that is like I have the ability to change the order of the annotations or move them in a designated folder via drag and drop. You can add almost all types of annotations, which includes the comments, text, voice, video. We can do equations, shapes, drawings, inserted media. So once you've created that annotation, you can just simply click Add to Bank and then follow the prompts. Another cool feature of the annotation bank is that any old annotations you might have gotten rid of, you still will have up to 1 hour to restore those annotations in case you made a little oopsie there. So really quickly, let me show you how the annotation bank works and what it's all about here. So as you see, I have all these different annotations in my document for a student. And then if I just click on that toggle sidebar, you will see my annotation bank. And you will see all of the annotations that I've made from like the 2 and the 1. And I can actually group them up into a folder so I can stay nice and organized, okay? All my text comments, all my voice comments are all right here. If I wanted to, for example, put one-step equations again into another document, I can reuse that same video that I did from the very first page as well. And you see I have it on the second page. I can just use the annotation bank however way I see fit. And of course I can take stuff out of the annotation bank as I move along as well, but really great as far as saving time. Now, as we're continuing this conversation about all of the great tools within Kami, let's not forget the reason why we are actually here. There's a lot to learn when it comes to understanding all of the different components of Kami, but as we get to the end of our presentation, I want to really remind you on the purpose of our session. We want to remember that creating a positive and a compassionate environment to a Kami classroom for all learners really starts with you. Having a positive mindset for all of these new methods and routines are gonna be very, very important. You wanna have buy-in not only from your students, but you gotta have to do the same thing within your own journey into utilizing all of these great tools within Kami. If your goal is indeed to build positive and compassionate relationships with your students, it has to begin with you and your students. Keeping the lines of communication open and clear throughout the process is going to be very important as well within this learning process and journey that you all are taking going back to school. So let's tie everything back together here, friends. Let's tie it all back. Kami and the cool tools and features within them I have shown you today are many ways that we can have fun and engaging experiences within your classroom going back to in-person learning. You can build better relationships with your students. I know I have with mine throughout this year by focusing on improving better communication between your educator and student and going back to in-person learning through the comments and the various tools. It's also great as far as saving the environment because now we're reducing the amount of paper usage within your school year. Also a great thing. Teachers and students are not losing documents or reducing them and you can do that collaboratively sharing 3 different programs that has Kami integration. And there's still many more tips and features that you can utilize within Kami that you can definitely learn all about. So now I want to hear some of your best Kami tips and tricks. Because as you know, sharing is indeed caring, and there's always room to learn more about the exciting ways that Kami can once again improve your in-person learning experience. I know it has for me, and I most definitely know it will for you, especially after sitting down with me for 20 minutes and listening to your boy. So I want to thank you all, and I want to thank the Kami Connect community for taking the time to hear me out and talking about how to build your best Kami classroom. In the words of, as we say here in Doan Academy, right onward. Have a great day. Take care.